Do you find yourself distracted mid-tournament, mid-match? You're supposed to be focusing on the next play. You're supposed to be focusing on whether to keep or mold a hand, but instead you're thinking about something that went wrong last match, earlier in the tournament, something that might go wrong. You're looking at the person behind you, wondering what they're thinking. You're looking at your opponent, there's a judge behind them, you're noticing all this different stuff. And even worse, your mind is wandering to things going on in your personal life, issues outside of the game, outside of the match. Well, welcome in fam, much love, Trav here. How to be more focused. If you're more focused and you can focus on the game, because all we have is our mental energy when we're playing the game and our habits. All we have is our focus, our power of attention. And if our attention is directed at this next play, at this next keep, mole, at this next decision point, then you can make a lot better decisions. You're not going to feel rushed. You're not going to notice the crowd or be bothered by the crowd. You're not going to be noticed or bothered, worried about the time and the judges and all this stuff. So first thing is, okay, do you have good focus or not? And that's easier said than done. And if you don't have good focus, you gotta cultivate, we're gonna talk about that, how to cultivate focus, not just in Magic, not just in tournament, but in life. If you're unfocused in the game, you're probably unfocused in life. And it's like the Prestige, where there's two brothers who are magicians, and in order to perform their teleportation trick at a high level, they have to sacrifice in their ordinary life. One of the brothers loses his finger to a gunshot, and in order to continue performing the trick at the highest level, the other brother has to cut his finger off. So that's the Prestige, where in order to be more focused in the game, you need to be more focused in life. In order to be more focused in the game, you need to be more disciplined and disciplined in life. So what does focus look like? Well, we can figure out what focus is by saying it's the inverse of distraction. So what does distraction look like? Distraction looks like your mind being all over the place. Distraction looks like you being on your phone, scrolling through social media, Instagram, Messenger, Twitter, Facebook, checking your phone every 5 minutes. Distraction looks like not being able to sit still and work on something. Distraction looks like having a cluttered desk. Distraction looks like having a cluttered desktop. Distraction looks like having a cluttered room. Distraction looks like having a cluttered car, because generally your physical surroundings is kind of a manifestation of the order of your brain. So we can say, in order to be focused, you're not checking social media all the time. You're focusing on one task at a time. You're multitasking. When you're on your phone, you're on your phone. When you're eating, you're eating. When you're working, you're working. When you're playing Magic, you're playing Magic. You're not training yourself to be distracted all the time. Instead, you have a very ordered space, ordered desktop, ordered desk, ordered car, order, so that your mind can be ordered. Now, being focused is almost the singular thing for people to be successful. You look at all these top athletes, all these top business people, all these successful people, and they just say, hey, it's just focus. Well, focus is exceedingly hard in a social media world where people are training themselves to be distracted all the time. So if you want to be more focused in a game of Magic and you want to be more focused in the game of life, you have to start. One of the places to start is in the morning when you wake up. 50% of people grab their phone in the email and start checking their email and social media in bed or while they go to the toilet. 50% of people delay gratification on that. Well, the problem is, if you're grabbing your phone when you're in the deeply malleable theta brain state that you get when you're waking or when you're sleeping, which is when you can really affect or change your habits, and you're going on your phone, you're training yourself to be distracted, and you're going to take that distraction with you throughout the day, through everything you're doing, and going into your matches. And your brain's going to be continuing to search and to scan instead of focusing on what you have in front of you. So instead, you need to say, hey, I'm not going to go onto my phone until I work out, until I write down on a piece of paper a couple important things for me to do today, until I attend those things. Then later I'm going to check my phone with a specific plan of what I'm going to do. I'm going to check social media with a specific plan of what I want to do with social media, not just because I'm training myself to be distracted, play music all the time, have Netflix going in, the news going in the background while I'm working. Nah. So when you do that, when you delay that, and you're like, let me focus, you start training yourself for single tasking. I'm going to do one thing at a time. And part of that is going to be going on the phone and social media, but I'm going to focus on that when I'm doing it. And when I'm eating, I'm going to focus on eating. And when I'm working out, I'm going to focus on working out. And when I'm playing a game of Magic, I'm playing a game of Magic. So with the Prestige, if you're preparing on Magic Online, if you're preparing on Arena, it's easy to be like, my opponent's slow, let me pull up another tab. My opponent's slow, let me pull up my phone. And then you're supposed to go into a match of Magic and be focused on that match when you're training yourself to be distracted, right? Your testing is going to lead to what you're doing in practice. So you need to modify your testing to make it beneficial to what you're doing in practice, right? You shouldn't be training yourself to be distracted with your testing. It's like people can't it's not just focus on, oh, I want to be focused on the next game in the play, but also focus to be like, most people can't even test anymore. Most people don't even test. Most people are too distracted by that. They're scrolling through their news feed, looking at different sites. Most people aren't testing. Maybe they play online and they're distracting themselves. People aren't really doing the like matchup versus matchup. Let's do this on cockatrice. We'll do this with proxies. Let me find the pilot. We're gonna jam it out for 2 hours. We're gonna focus on this. We're gonna look at both sides. We're gonna switch sides of the matchup. We're gonna start with specific hand cards in our opener so we can measure those cards. We're gonna track who's winning. People aren't doing this anymore because people are too distracted. People have gotten too distracted. So you think like, oh, Magic tournaments are getting harder and harder. There's more and more people, and those people are better and better. They've been playing for longer. No, actually, it's getting easier because people can't even focus anymore. They can't focus to prepare. They can't focus on playing the match itself. So if you can do those things, you have a tremendous advantage. And it starts with your daily routines and your habits and the things that you do in the morning and the way that you live your life. And if you do this, I promise you, you're going to have better results in tournament, but you're also going to have better results in life because you actually will be able to think about your goals and your vision and your mission and what actions you need to take, and you'll be able to eliminate so much of the distractions in life. And all that will be left is focus. So I hope you find that useful. This is the sort of thing that we cover in our MTG Mastermind training group. If you made it to the end of the video and you care about improving in life and in Magic, if that's for you, especially if you're a tournament player and you're looking for measurable results, there's a link down below where you can apply, and we'll see if you're a good fit. If you've got tournaments and they matter to you and you have the resources, then we can talk and help you out, help players become the best versions of themselves, and train people to spike tournaments. And not everyone does it, but some go and qualify and play at the highest level, which is amazing. So I appreciate you and thank you for taking the time, and I look to speaking to you at the next stage. And keep on going, make the necessary changes to focus. Most people can't do it, so if you can simply focus, you have a huge advantage. So appreciate you and talk to you soon.